Hi everyone, we're at Brisbane King George Square. We're about to have the rally for Ukraine with the Ukrainian community. We're here to support them as we are Polish, because obviously this is very close to home. It is a peaceful protest at the end of the day, and it is a protest against the war. We're here today at the King George Square to stand side by side with our brothers and sisters of Ukraine. There's a lot of people coming from different nations, lots of representatives, government bodies, consul generals. So it's wonderful to see this turnout and to support for Ukraine.
Polska solidarnie z Ukrainą. Jesteśmy z wami.
So I'm standing here with Teresa, our Polish honorary consul here in Brisbane. Thank you so much for your support and coming out to support the Ukrainian crisis.
Look, it couldn't be any other way. Poland stands strong with Ukraine. We were first to help, and we will be there all the way.
Co mam powiedzieć? Co mogę powiedzieć w takiej chwili? Jest sporo ludzi. Z jednej strony cieszy to, a z drugiej smuci, że musimy się dzisiaj zbierać z takiej okazji właśnie tutaj. Nie jest ważne skąd przychodzimy, ważne jest, że jednoczy nas jedna myśl, która łączy nas z Ukrainą, łączy nas z wolnością i łączy nas przede wszystkim z tym, jakie mamy wartości.
Only to Ukraine, not only to Europe, but to the rest of the world. This war in cities, not like many cities of our own here in Australia, is being documented in real time. Civilians are live streaming the attacks for the whole world to see, and these live streams end only when the operator is killed by a shell or critical infrastructure is destroyed. We are seeing photos of children bandaged, bloody. Kindergartens, schools, hospitals, cancer wards, residential buildings continue to be targeted, shelled and destroyed. Innocent people are being injured and killed. Priceless artifacts of Ukraine's history have been destroyed. We see live footage of this occurring, and yet there are people who still deny these atrocities are even happening. We have raised over $1.18 million as Australians. This incredible amount could not have been raised without the support of all the non-Ukrainian Australians who have donated. Thank you to everyone in Queensland and Australia who are supporting Ukraine. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini!
My name is Tim Moe. I'm the Irish Ambassador to Australia, who happens to be in Brisbane this weekend. And I'm here effectively to say maybe three things. One, Ireland stands with Ukraine. The European Union stands with Ukraine. And the United Nations stands with Ukraine. The second thing to say is that Ireland was elected to the UN Security Council last year with a couple of purposes. One was to build peace, prevent violence, and to hold people accountable. Within the United Nations system, we are working hard on all three, and we will prevail. But it is complicated and will take some time. The third thing to say is much more straightforward. It is that Russian aggression in Ukraine is unacceptable, immoral, unjustified. The violence must stop, the troops must go home, militarism must stop, and imperialism must stop. That is the message that we want to send.
Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands upon which we meet today, the Turrbal and Yagara people. Distinguished guests, Ukrainians, and friends of Ukraine. We stand here in a beautiful country, Australia, a long way away from the unimaginable terror that Ukrainians are currently enduring. Yet no matter how far away we are from that conflict, we must all unite to support Ukraine and call on Russia to stop. As the representative of the Polish government in Queensland, and on behalf of His Excellency, Polish Ambassador to Australia, Mr. Michał Kołodziejski, I would like to reiterate how important it is that as many countries as possible and individuals unite in condemnation of what's going on in Ukraine right now. This is important that we do not turn away just because it is too much to bear. Poland is proud to stand with Ukraine. Poland was first to help. It has moved well beyond words of support to actions that mean something. Poland doesn't provide refugee camps. Poland instead has taken in more than 790,000 Ukrainians into their own homes. We have taken these women, children, elderly into our homes and given them shelter. Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine must be condemned. Whilst Polish-Ukrainian history has been marked with moments of conflict and tragedy, we are united always in ways of making our world a better place. No one knows when this will end, but by standing together with brave Ukraine, we can all play a part in protecting our neighbours in need and their right to remain a sovereign nation. Peace to Ukraine, Mir Ukraini.
Ambassador, Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, but most of all, Kurishny Den to all Ukrainians and all friends of Ukraine. This war is wrong. Any war is wrong. For political reasons, because any invasion of an independent, not an aggressive country is a violation. It is wrong for economic reasons, because any damage to physical assets, financial assets, commercial assets of citizens and corporations is a violation. But most of all, it's wrong for humanitarian reasons. Any pain, any fear, any death is the most severe form of violation. This is no longer just a war in the Ukraine. It's no longer a war in Europe. It's a global war. And we need a global reaction to stop. Because if we don't stop it, it will escalate. And you would struggle to comprehend the scale of this escalation. I'm standing here as the German honorary consul. But I'm also standing here as a German citizen who had the privilege of enjoying security and peace when I grew up. We all want to secure this peace and well-being for the next generations. But like you, I'm watching TV and I see babies born in shelters. I see young children saying goodbye to their fathers at a train station. And I see young men going to war. And that shows us how fragile this next generation is and how much it needs our protection. Peace is much more than the absence of war. Peace is more than a state of mind. Peace is when you have common rules, when you've got international laws, when you have a global collaboration. And all of this is at stake because Russia has not just attacked the country, Russia has attacked these foundations of peace. This senseless attack is a challenge for all of us. And you all have thought you would never see this in your lifetime, but you never will forget that challenge for the rest of your lifetime. In moments like this, countries, corporations and citizens have to be decisive, and this is, like our Polish friends, Germany is decisive. We're sending food, medical support, humanitarian goods and shelter to more than 220,000 refugees who will come to Germany. However, most important, and like in Poland, it is not the response of Germany, it's the response of Germans. And if you're at a train station in Berlin, you see families arriving with food, with money, with shelter to offer their support for any Ukrainian family stepping out of this train. And yes, we are providing military support for those who are remaining in the Ukraine. And we as Germans are very much aware of our historic responsibility. And this is why we're seeking diplomatic answers. But when peace is at stake, we are all stepping up. This is about now, this is about tomorrow. And this is why the European Union, for the very first time, is allocating 750 million Australian dollars for military equipment. If you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor, said Bishop Tutu once. So this one is for you, all of you here on King George Square. Ask yourself, how can you help those in need, displaced and homeless, and leaving the Ukraine right now? You will be asked in the future, how did you help? This war is wrong. So it's your responsibility to do right in the decisions you take and in the actions you take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter. Can I acknowledge all of you who've come here in such really remarkable numbers to show our collective support to the people of Ukraine at this incredibly heartbreaking time for all of you and for so many people, Ukrainian people around the world, and of course in Ukraine itself. I'm Jim Chalmers. I'm a member of the Federal Parliament. I'm here with my colleague, Senator Anthony Chisholm, colleagues from the State Parliament, Leanne Linnard and Joe Kelly, and there are others here too. And we're here for one reason, and that is just to show our solidarity and our unity and to stand with you in these heartbreaking and difficult times, to let you know that we will do all that we possibly can to ensure that Ukraine is peaceful again and that the children and the women and the men of the Ukraine are safe again. Now we say to Father Stefan and Father Martin, Father Mikola, all of the faith leaders here, Peter and all the community leaders here and all of you, that we know that there is a responsibility on all of us here in Australia, both sides of politics, right around the world, to speak with one voice, to stand up against this vile and unprovoked act of aggression which has put the Ukrainian people at such risk. Now to this point, the Russian regime has underestimated the courage of the Ukrainian people, and we pay tribute to and we salute and we admire the courage that we've seen each and every day from the Ukrainian military, but also from the Ukrainian community, the Ukrainian people more broadly, as they have stood up to this unprovoked act of aggression. But the truth is that this war in Ukraine is entering a dangerous new phase, as we know, and the attacks around the nuclear reactors represent a diabolical new low in this dangerous phase of the war. So our commitment to you from the National Parliament, from the State Parliament, for anybody with influence in this country, is that we will do what we can to make sure that we are tightening the screws on the Russian economy on behalf of the Ukrainian people, that we are putting maximum pressure on Putin and his cronies to make sure that we can end this war, that we can put maximum pressure on the Russian regime so that there are consequences for this vile act that we are here today to talk about. In conclusion, the last thing I'll say before you hear from the others, and we've heard from ambassadors and consuls and people from right around the world, is that our responsibility beyond coming to a rally, as important as that is to make sure that we continue to do all that we can. If there is ever anything more that you think we should be doing, please make sure you make your voice heard like you are today as this situation develops and as we ratchet up the pressure on the Russian regime. Thank you for the opportunity to stand with you in solidarity today. We say again that we stand with Ukraine, not just today but every day, and we look forward to the day when that magnificent country is peaceful again and the children of that country are safe again.
Well, thank you, Peter, and I start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting today, the Turrbal and the Yagara people. Peter, can I acknowledge you, the community and the executive, for providing this opportunity for the community to come together and to stand in solidarity at such an important time. The Queensland Government, please be in absolutely no question, recognises the territorial sovereignty of Ukraine and their right to peace, freedom and democracy. The human toll of this conflict has been devastating overseas, but we equally acknowledge the impact of it on our community here in Queensland. We know there will be members amongst you and those who couldn't be here today who are impacted and understandably worried about their family, their friends overseas. Our thoughts are with all of you as they are with them. The Queensland Government is proud of our multicultural history, our community, and the rich contribution that diversity makes to this state. We stand ready to support the federal government to assist in the resettlement of people who need our help after fleeing the conflict, just as we did last year in respect of Afghanistan. Queensland is home to people from 220 different countries speaking more than 180 languages. And they identify with more than 110 different religious beliefs. Our state is home to Queenslanders originally from Ukraine, from Russia, from everywhere. Our values continue to be, you are welcome here, you are safe here, and we stand strongly with the Ukrainian community as this awful time in our history is happening. Thank you.
Ukraine is a den seeing women, children, innocents slaughtered for no good reason. Stop Putin! Stop war! 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 And we have a message to the world leaders, to the men and women who have control and can exert some authority over the European Union and NATO and any country that believes that the aggressive slaughter of innocents is wrong. Close the sky! 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 Твою червону калину підіймемо, аби нашу славну Україну розвеселимо.
Привет. The Polish community of Queensland declares its support for all those affected by the invasion of Ukraine and her people, and we stand firmly beside the Ukrainian community of Brisbane. The history of our two nations is long, complex and not always favourably recounted, but we are both proud Slavic nations. The democratisation of both our countries in recent decades has brought us closer together. But both Ukrainians and Poles value freedom and democracy, which can only be manifest in nations that exercise full independence. The current Russian invasion of Ukraine is without precedent in recent times, having brought war and destruction upon a civilized nation. The Polish people know only too well the pains of war, but as a Catholic nation which belongs to the universal family of humanity, we stand in solidarity and in full support of Ukraine in her struggle against oppression. Our hearts are with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
My words will echo exactly what Henry said. Poland is a land that has first-hand seen the effects of war, and the people of Poland took a stance to resist any foreign occupation. We learned from our past. We moved towards a better future. We stand here with the people of Ukraine, not as two separate countries, but brothers and sisters, side by side. We know what it's like to be left behind. We know what it's like to lose our homes. But we also know that coming back will make you stronger, better, and prouder to be Ukrainian. There is one more thing that I wish to say to the decision makers. If you let Ukraine fall, who will be next? We pray for Ukraine and we stand together. Slava Ukraini!
I personally have my mom in Mariupol right now. We wasn't able to contact her for last 4 days because she, in the suburbs, they don't have any power and electricity, no water. So we literally don't know if she alive or not. My youngest sister with my niece, she was able to escape to Moldova, and luckily to my friends who live here in Australia, they found accommodation for her over there, so she's safe. But most of our families are still in a major danger, and I want to share this microphone with a couple of my friends from Ukraine, and I will tell you how painful for us to be in this position, to be in peaceful Australia where we have blue sky above our head. We don't have any bombing, we don't have any shelling. We have major support from our friends, and our people in Ukraine, they have nothing. No power, no electricity, constant scary, they're constantly scared from each bombing, each shelling. They move with each sound. They try to protect their kids, try to take their kids in a safer regions, and they are not able to. So now we're facing a nuclear war potentially. We're facing so many things that we're asking Australians and the world community to support us. So please listen to our stories, to our pain, and be with us, Ukrainian. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anna and I am from Kharkiv. My city was attacked first. I couldn't believe what's happening, and unfortunately my city on east of Ukraine, so basically no one could escape. The war escalated so fast that in few days the Russian army destroyed the whole city. It was a nightmare. It is a nightmare for all of us, but I just can't imagine what all my relatives, all my friends are going through. All people which I grew up with, my friends, my ex-colleagues, I'm constantly keep in touch with them. I'm trying to support everyone as much as I can, but within these few days, the Russian army has destroyed the whole city. They destroyed the buildings which survived First World War, which survived Second World War. I don't know, it's a heartbreaking situation, and I don't know how to support them. I don't know how to evacuate all these people because many of them still in shelters in their houses. They don't know where to run because they're bombing my city constantly. And for example, my family tried to escape. Yesterday they made it, no, 1 day ago they made it to the another part of the city, like the behind city, very small, quiet, but they don't know what to do there in the car, and it's snowing at the moment. So I don't know what will happen to them because they don't know what to do. They're afraid to move forward to the west, to Poland, because they don't know if it will be enough of fuel. They are scared to be freeze. So I don't know if I will be able to see my mom, my brother, my friends. I don't know if I will be able to go back to my country, to my city anymore. And I'm just so grateful also to everyone who came today to support us, especially our Polish community. Polish people at this time helping the most Ukrainians, they're supporting us. So many people actually went to Poland, and my friends, and they gave them so much support. People opening their houses, their hearts for all these volunteers, for our Ukrainian people. So thank you everyone, and Slava Ukraini!
Доброго дня, шановні українці і росіяни, і всі люди, які тут зібралися. Everybody, welcome. Thank you everybody. Thank you our Brisbane community. Because it's not only Ukrainians, it's many, many more. And I believe our country resistant now. Our people are very, very united. And because people around the globe, they are with Ukraine. And that's a strong message to all of them that they choose the right way. That there is something they have fighting for integrity, for freedom, for their rights to speak up, to choose their way, where they want to be, how they want to live. No one have rights to tell me, to tell my family, to tell my kids, who am I? I'm Ukrainian. Я українка, так як і ви всі. І вони всі в Україні. All of them in Ukraine are Ukrainians. Doesn't matter what language they speak. Like we are here in Australian. We speak many, many different languages. But we're all Australian. And we're all free people. We can stand for our rights. We can speak up. But who tell Putin that he can come to Ukraine and shut people's rights? Like in Russia, so many people going out on the street, I know. And I'm so proud of those people. They're not scared. They want to speak up, but they cannot. My beautiful country, the churches, land, hard-working people, they all under threat of disappearance now. And if the world will swallow this threat now, it's impossible. We are people, we are human all around the world. And every single one have rights to exist. No matter colors or language or religion, we are all having rights to exist. And we want to choose our way. So I'm thanking every single one, everybody, Ukrainians, Russians who are with us here as well. Many, many different cultures and countries under peaceful Australian sky in this beautiful weather. We're all safe here. And thank you, everybody. Now in Ukraine it's war. Whatever people in Russia or they wild bear, that's how I call it. He said it's whatever it says, that's not war, he said. He didn't declare war, but it is war. People are dying. There is many orphanages, many widows. My brother in Odessa, in the front line. People are fighting like lions. Ukrainians, not that weak that Russians think they are. They're strong. Ukrainians having the special ability to live around the world, to live peacefully in Ukraine. And they looks like coal dust. But if it's a threat or if it's something that they don't like, they want to speak up, they all get together and become like a big, strong, sharp diamond. And believe me, they will kill that bear. And we will all around the world, we will support them. This is very important for them to see that we are all united. We are all having the values which is under threat of disappearance. And people have to know they choose the right way. They choose to be in solidarity with the world, not with wild, as I said, bear. Thank you, everybody. Glory to Ukraine! Slava Ukraini!
Just wanted to say we came here to support Ukraine and world peace efforts. That's the least we can do. We're really touched by this. For all the Ukrainians, believe us, we stand with you, all the Poles.
Today the Polish community of Brisbane had the honour of standing beside the Ukrainian community of Brisbane and Queensland in supporting them in the protest against the invasion, the illegal invasion of the Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Молоді усміх. усміхнеться доля, згинуть наші воріженьки, як роса на сонці, запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу, тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Душу, тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Героям слава! Слава Україні! Героям слава! Слава Україні! Героям слава!
And as our wonderful Australian climate sends us thunderstorms in our way, we would like to conclude today's rally and protest by thanking everyone that is here, by thanking the traditional owners of this land upon which you gathered, and thanking everybody in Australia for supporting Ukraine.